Am I the asshole for wearing my engagement ring to work? I, 26 female, got engaged to my fiancé Cruz, 25 4 days ago. We've been dating for 2 years and we were friends for 2 years before that. My future Mill gave my fiancé his great-grandmother's, GGMA, ring to propose with, and it is absolutely gorgeous. He even had it altered to my ring size, which he got when I was sleeping. His great-grandfather personally hand-made the ring and chose the accompanying diamond since he was in the diamond business after the war ended, and his GGMA decided to pass it on as an heirloom when she died. Now on Monday I wore my ring into work and I was so excited to show my girlfriends when we all went to lunch. I swear I didn't flash it to everyone. I wasn't being annoying. I only wanted to show my girlfriends. I didn't want to create a big fuss. They were the only ones I told. Well, after lunch I got pulled aside by one of my coworkers, Sierra, 35, who said that I was being unprofessional by showing off my ring. She told me I was being insensitive to my other female coworkers who wore their engagement rings and have smaller diamonds. I was obviously confused and told her that issue isn't my problem. She said I was being rude because it made her wedding ring look cheap in comparison to mine. She also told me that the silent rule of big diamonds should only be worn after 5 years of marriage. After she was talking, I told her I'm never going to take off this ring and she can suck it up basically. She then started crying and walked out of work early. I talked with my girlfriends and fiancé about it and they all agreed with me that it's not my problem and I should continue wearing my ring, but I still feel terrible that she started crying. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. That silent rule is silent because it doesn't exist. What about people who cannot afford diamonds? How many years have to pass before Sierra herself can wear her smaller diamond out of respect for those people? Not the asshole. She said I was being rude because it made her wedding ring look cheap in comparison to mine. Does she expect you to have a list of everyone's engagement ring cost, size, clarity, setting, etc. so you know if you're allowed to wear yours? Sierra OBVS has some issues regarding your ring. Just ignore her and move on. You might want to let HR know about what happened. Not the asshole. It's not even like you flashed your ring in this person's face. They decided to get in your business and upset themselves in the process. It would be like if someone broke into your house, located and rifled through your lingerie drawer, and then the next day wailed at you for having a bigger bra size. Why wouldn't you wear your engagement ring to work? Every woman I know shows off their ring when they get engaged. I have never heard of this absurd, silent rule. Sierra is just jelly that you have a bigger diamond than her. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She was being awfully loud about a supposed silent rule. Congratulations on your engagement. Not the asshole silent rule? Sounds more like, my own delusional rule, congratulations on the engagement op. Not the asshole. You get engaged, you wear an engagement ring. Sounds completely natural. Not asshole. She told me I was being insensitive to my other female coworkers who wore their engagement rings and have smaller diamonds. That usually means. She said I was being rude because it made her wedding ring look cheap in comparison to mine. Yep. Being that childish, and pushing it on other people is an asshole move. Congratulations on the engagement and also on the not the asshole verdict. I mean, you were at freaking lunch so you can be a smidge unprofessional, if it even was unprofessional to show your friends your ring. If your coworker feels like she needs to compete about rings and you don't, she is going to be eating her heart out all by herself. Please, try to ignore her and have a great time planning and having your wedding. Am I the asshole for noticing that my girlfriend's fibromyalgia sure does seem to flare up at convenient times? My girlfriend Jenny, 26F, and I, 30M, have been together for a year. She moved in with me about 6 months ago partially because she had nowhere else to go, but we're living happily together most days. Jenny suffers from a condition called fibromyalgia. It is a really complicated condition that even doctors do not understand all that well, but from what I've researched as a layman, it is a generalized pain condition. It makes it hard for Jenny to hold down a job, but I legitimately used to believe that she at least tried. I know I'm already going to sound like an asshole with this, but I believe at this point, Jenny is milking it. It isn't that she isn't able to work, or she isn't able to do the dishes most days. It's often about what she is able to do. For example, before the weekend, Jenny had a job interview for a position that was a really great opportunity. The job interview was mostly a formality because she was strongly recommended by her aunt for it. Jenny ended up canceling because of a fibromyalgia flare-up. 2 hours later, she went out to lunch with her friends, in a perfectly fine mood. When she got home, I asked if she could wash the dishes she left in the sink. She said her fibromyalgia was flaring up again and she needed to lay down. I washed a mountain of dishes by myself. Later, Jenny came out to watch one of her favorite TV shows. I asked how she was feeling and she said she was fine after resting. I then pointed out that her fibromyalgia sure seems to calm down before things she wants to do, and then flare up again before things she doesn't want to do. Jenny stood up without a word, walked to the bedroom, and locked the door. I have seen her about 3 times since, and she doesn't have a word for me. If her behavior with the interview, lunch with friends, being unable to do the dishes, and then wanting to watch TV were a one-off thing, I'd get it. But this happens all the time. More examples. Jenny loves concerts. I have never heard of a flare-up before one. She's always good to go to a concert. Jenny has never had a flare-up before going out to dinner or going to see a movie. She has never said that she just couldn't make it. Jenny has constant flare-ups right before doing chores, or she uses them as an excuse to not do any housework. I feel like a monster, but I'm sadly really confident in my judgment here. Was my comment too direct? On one hand, stress is a well-known trigger for flare-ups. On the other hand, flare-ups typically last the entire day, at the least. From the perspective of a medical professional, not the asshole. I may be downvoted to bollocks and beyond, but not the asshole. She's pissed you called her out on it. My sister, that same condition, but attacks often happen during holidays and when she's getting ready to go out, and so will often either not go or come home early, and so the chances of it always happening before chores and interviews but not during fun stuff shows that while she may have it, she's playing on it. Does she work now and pay her way? Not the asshole is someone with fibromyalgia and other immune disorders. A flare isn't something that comes and goes in a couple of hours. I think the shortest flare I've had was 2 days. The longest lasted over a month. I hate to judge other people's level of ability, but this behavior stinks. Oh boy. I'm going to get a bunch of crap, but not the asshole. She sounds really comfortable with the stuff she's doing, which is all fun. Concerts? Really? That is a huge event that involves a bunch of planning, travel, standing, all before the fun actually starts. But things that are important, basic housekeeping, job searching, those are the cause of very short flare-ups? I'm really sorry to any sufferers out there, but yeah. I don't doubt she has the disorder, but I do agree that it all seems far too convenient. Plus that little temper tantrum and silent treatment seems like a toddler move. I think if after 6 months if you have doubts about her integrity, then it might be time to break up. She could be faking. Or not. But either way you don't fully trust her and maybe feel like she's a burden. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Moving in with someone because they have nowhere else to go is always the wrong reason. Read your country's guidelines on fibromyalgia, usually published by the Rheumatologists Association. The ones I am familiar with do not recommend avoidance of all activities deemed undesirable. They do recommend many types of active therapies. If she isn't willing to engage in the proper treatment for her condition, then, time to re-evaluate your situation. Familiarize yourself with the sick role, and the concept of secondary gain. Recognize anyone? Okay. As someone with a chronic condition that affects my day-to-day life and a boyfriend who deals with it, that makes no sense. I feel guilty every time I mess up plans or have to change things. It sounds like she's taking advantage of you and not making a true effort for herself. I'm not sure that's something a person can change. Not the asshole. I have fibromyalgia and it sucks. I'm so exhausted all the time. I never want to do anything, even the fun stuff. I do work, although not as much as I used to. I do some household chores, but I realized I couldn't do them and work, so I hired a cleaning person. I rarely have energy for fun activities.